Hello everyone and welcome to Thursday. I told you guys at the end of yesterday's vlog that we would talk about the Sony Conference for the PlayStation 4, which happened yesterday, and we're going to do that. So let's discuss it. I'm not going to have a whole lot to say about it, at least I don't think I will. I think most of what's going to be said is going to be the discussion that I will have with you guys down in the comments below. So first off, yesterday Sony held a conference event thing live to show off, sort of, the PlayStation 4, to talk about it, to get people excited, and to let everyone know that it exists. Of course, come on, we know that there's going to be a PlayStation 4. If you haven't seen the event, I'm sure that there is, it's recorded online somewhere. You could search for it on YouTube, PlayStation 4 conference event. I don't know of one personally, but if I find one, I'll put it in the description. I'll also put the abridged version, which has some language in it, so beware, but the abridged version is very funny and is actually kind of to the point. It makes a lot of sense. So it was live yesterday, and I watched some of it, but I was having some serious streaming issues. Like, it was not constant. It was like lagging like crazy. So I just kind of got bits and pieces of it, but I mean, I did read about everything that was in the show. First off, a lot of people were saying that it was a terrible show. No, I didn't think it was all that bad, especially because when I compare it to the PS3's release with Giant Enemy Crabs and Ridge Racer, it just doesn't seem as bad. That was kind of like the pinnacle of an event that was like, what are you doing, Sony? But this event was not that bad. I don't really know what people expected from the event. The one thing that I wanted to, or the two things that I really wanted to know from this was the price, and I wanted to see the console. And I know that second thing is not important to a lot of people because they're like, well, it's going to be a black rectangle, LOL. But I like to be able to actually see the console because I can envision what it's going to look like when it sits in my entertainment center. But no view of the console and no price, which is kind of sad. I've seen pricing estimates be all over the board for this thing, from as low as $299 to as high as $550, and I'm not really sure what to expect. There'll probably be two models. I just don't know what the range on that is going to be. That's what I really wanted to know, but I guess they're holding out till E3 or maybe even after that, so I guess we'll find out. Otherwise, a lot of the information regarding the specs are things that we already knew. If you followed any major gaming news site, there's been rumors and speculation that have been accurate for a long time. The controller looks cool. It looks like it's going to be comfortable to hold, probably slightly more comfortable than the PS3's controller. I know people have different opinions on which controller they like the most. Personally, I find the 360 controller to be possibly the most comfortable controller I've ever felt. I know that there's some people that are huge fans of the PlayStation's controller, but I think the stick layout on the Xbox's controller is much more appealing and it feels better in your hand. But they are changing up the controller a little bit. The touch screen is interesting. I don't think that that's a bad thing. I know there was a few comments I've seen where people were like, they don't need this, this is stupid. But you don't know. I mean, whenever something new comes along, you don't know that you wanted it until it's been implemented in a positive way. So you can't really look at a touchscreen on a controller and be like, well, that's useless, because you don't know. In your mind, you're not coming up with ways that it could be used, and when developers actually get around to utilizing it, you might change your mind. You might say, you know what, this is actually really cool, and I really like this. The share button is also interesting, being able to share screenshots and videos of what you're doing with other people. Probably going for more of a social media feel like they did with the Wii U Miiverse. So, I mean, that's all positive. The Wii U is doing that correctly, and if other companies go that route, good, because that's a positive thing. Otherwise, we saw some shooting games, we saw some racing games. Media Molecule came on stage. I got really excited because I'm a big fan of Little Big Planet. Me and Mal did an LP of that a few months ago. If you haven't seen it, go watch it because it's actually really fun. It's really good. And I don't really know what to expect with that. I think it's neat that they're utilizing the Move controller, but to be honest, I was actually kind of hopeful that the new PS4 controllers were going to double as Move controllers. I was really hopeful because I don't want to have to buy more peripherals. Because whenever they showed the PS4 controller, like a few weeks back, and it had the the light on it, I was like, oh man, I bet they are going to make this also a Move controller, and you'll be able to just move the controller and it'll function somehow. I don't know. But no, it doesn't look like it. It looks like they are going to be utilizing the Move controllers, which, I don't know. If you already have them, it's probably fine because it looks like you'll be able to use your old ones. Because I don't think they're going to come out with new ones, but I don't know, kind of lame. But as far as the actual game that they were showing, It looks neat, the whole sculpting thing. I don't know how I would get used to that, but I'm not going to criticize it because I haven't tried it personally. But to be honest, what it really comes down to is games. It comes down to exclusives. And am I going to be buying a PlayStation 4 for the exclusives? Probably. I mean, I'll probably own all of the consoles for the next generation like I did for this generation. It's just a matter of when I will adopt them, because I only adopt them if there's games I'm really interested in. And this generation, my third-party platform, my third-party console that I used was the 360. I think it's going to be interesting to see in this next generation who I'm going to choose. You know, if I want to buy a game that's going to be available on all three consoles, am I going to be buying it on the Wii U, the PS4, or the Xbox Durango 720? Obviously, it's too early to tell, but people want to know if I'm excited for the PS4, and I am. I'm excited for the next generation. There's a few people that have said that it's coming too soon, and that, you know, they still don't have all the consoles of this generation, or, you know, there's still a lot of games they want to play. That's a bad excuse. That's a really bad excuse. This has been the longest console generation that we've ever had, and it is definitely time to upgrade before we fall even further behind the PC than we already are. Not that I expect to ever catch up to the PC with consoles, but, you know, you want to get as close as you can, partly so you don't hold PCs back. So to end off this vlog, I'm just going to say that I saw the PS4 conference, or most of it, and I read all the information. I did not think that it was an overall negative conference. I am excited about the PlayStation 4. Obviously, the PS2 was a much bigger deal than the PS3 was, and I would like to see Sony reclaim a little of that. I have nothing against any particular company. I try to be fair in how I view all of the different companies, and I've really liked the Xbox, but I remember enjoying the PS2, and Mao really enjoyed the PS2, and most people really enjoyed the PS2. It was a fantastic console. And I don't know, I just like to see Sony come back a little bit. Not to hurt Xbox or hurt the Wii U, but I would just like to see the consoles do a little better this time around. So anyway, that's going to be it for today. Talk about anything related to the conference. Even if there's something that you want me to hit on more in a future video, or if you want me to comment on, ask me a question, or just, you know, discuss it with the fellow Stevenites. I used that word in the vlog, well, down below. Talk about it. And I'm interested to see what you guys have to say, what you thought of the conference if you saw it. I'm excited for the PS4. I think it's going to be an interesting generation, and I'm glad to see things move forward. I'm glad to see Nintendo finally have an HD system, because we're there and we've been there for a long time. So yeah, I'm excited. I think it's going to be a good generation. Going to be a good next 5 years, or if we continue the trend, 15. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, let's meet back tomorrow, shall we?